Obama ordered to Denver bunker by U.S. military. A disturbing report prepared by General Alexei Maslov, the senior military representative of the permanent mission of Russia to NATO, states that he has been notified by the Americans of their plan to hold a DEFCON 1 cocked pistol maximum readiness alert drill on 27 September, which will be overseen by President Obama at one of the United States' most secure bunkers located beneath the Denver International Airport. Under the SALT I Strategic Nuclear Arms Control Agreement, signed between Russia and the U.S., both parties are required to notify the other in all cases of such maximum readiness drills occurring, but are not required to state their reasons for doing so. General Maslov states in his report, though, his concern over this drill is heightened due to last month's nuclear attack on the Central Intelligence Agency CIA branch of the Intercontinental Military Tunnel Complex between Washington, D.C. and Denver, and which was reported on August 24. Report in the article, Russia reports nuclear explosions hit vast U.S. military tunnel network. Important to note is that shortly after the devastating attacks on American on 11 September 2001, the Bush regime moved to completely militarize the CIA by placing as its director former U.S. Air Force General Michael Hayden, who served in that capacity until February 2009. Obama then put in place the former U.S. Army intelligence officer, Leon Panetta, to run this most powerful of spy agencies. After Panetta, Obama put America's top general, David Petraeus, in charge of the CIA, barely a week after the aforementioned nuclear attack upon the CIA. The fears of both the Bush and Obama regimes regarding the CIA were due to their complicity in the 11 September 2001 attacks upon America, utilizing their Al-Qaeda terror network, headed by their main asset, Osama bin Laden, otherwise known by his code name, Tim Osman. This was run jointly with Pakistan's Directorate for Inter-Services Intelligence, ISI, and funded by the Saudi royal family. Important to note is that Russian intelligence services were long aware of the CIA, ISI, Tim Osman operation, after it had been infiltrated by top FSB agent Victor Bout, who delivered to Marvin Bush, President George Bush's younger brother, and Ward Walker III, George Bush's cousin, the approximately 15 tons of Russian military PVV-5A plastic explosives that were used to bring down the World Trade Center buildings. In a September 1, 2010 report, U.S.-Russia bidding war for 9/11 Merchant of Death reaches $20 billion, which was a detailed sordid plot and, in part, stated. Important to note about Marvin Bush and Ward Walker III is that at the time of the 9/11 attacks, they were both directors of the American security company named Stratasec, formerly known as Securokim, which was given an $8.3 million contract to help provide security at the World Trade Center, and which the weekend prior to the attacks completely closed this massive skyscraper complex for 36 hours to upgrade its security system. Now Victor Bout, in being curious, to say the least, as to why the Bush family needed so much Russian explosives for their upgrade of the World Trade Center complex, was invited by Marvin Bush to come to New York City to watch the big show, an offer Bout did not refuse. And so the night prior to 9/11, Bout traveled to New York City, where he was met by Bush operatives working for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, who, coincidentally, had scheduled an emergency exercise for the morning of September 11, 2001, that all too soon became real. Bout was given a FEMA security pass that gave him unhindered access to the aftermath of the catastrophic attacks upon the World Trade Center complex, which these reports document he took full advantage of. Unfortunately for the Americans, though, was that Bout's visit wearing his FEMA credentials was filmed by FEMA's official videographer Kurt Sonnenfeld, who was the only filmmaker given unrestricted access to the 9/11 site. The main conduit for Saudi Arabian cash used to finance the Tim Osman operation was identified by Bout in his FSB reports as being Abdulaziz al-Hijji and his wife, Anaud, a grandniece of Saudi King Abdullah, who lived in Sarasota, Florida, and who just days prior to the September 11, 2001 attacks suddenly left all of their possessions and returned home. Though the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, was quick to state that the Hijjas had no connection with the Saudi hijackers, it is more than curious to note that nearly all of them were recorded visiting them in the days prior to the attacks. The importance of noting the CIA-ISI Saudi connection to the attacks upon America on September 11, 2001 with the Obamas planned this September 11, 2011, cocked pistol alert, is due to General Maslov, warning in his report that this unprecedented drill occurring in Denver on that date could very well likely be related to threats made against the United States by both Saudi Arabia and Israel over the upcoming UN General Assembly vote to declare Palestinian statehood. Where Israel commands vast resources within the United States to elect government officials, including presidents, and who have fallen out of favor with Obama over his politics towards Israel, former Saudi ambassador to the United States, Prince Turki Al Faisal warned yesterday that unless the Obama regime voted for Palestinian statehood, Saudi Arabia would no longer be able to cooperate with America in the same way it historically has, and the chances of another war in the region would be assured. As had been warned about in an May 28 report, Obama vows war on Saudi Arabia, orders thousands of U.S. troops to region. In a June 23 report, nuclear attack on U.S. war imminent as Saudi war nears. The United States' plans for all-out global war are well in place and are now awaiting the spark that will set it off. It's not known if the date of September 27, when Obama will be in Denver, will be the date this spark is set off. What is known, though, is that since the CIA transferred their headquarters to Denver in 2005 under the mysterious airport, the questions as to who, or what, actually controls the United States today remains in question. And when this information is coupled with the fact that September 27 is one of the most significant dates in American history because on that date, in 1777, after British troops captured Philadelphia, Lancaster, Pennsylvania became the United States capital for that single day, the first time such a thing occurred in all of that nation's history, and it is, also, the date that comet Elenin enters into its feared alignment with the Earth, Sun and Moon, with many believing these conjunctions are responsible for catastrophic earthquakes and tsunamis, and nearly all of NASA's top officials and scientists will be in Denver on that date too. One can be justifiably perplexed as to the many meanings these events have. But, to the greater meaning of all of these things, it has been best stated by Woodrow Wilson, the 28th President of the United States, who warned the American people about the future to come. Since I entered politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the U.S., in the field of commerce and manufacturing, are afraid of somebody, are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. And to understand these words are to understand everything, especially what is to come. No one, therefore, can say that they were never warned, only that they didn't listen.